I'm going to talk about the brain waves here because we're going to talk so much about these, and certainly if you decide to move forward with EEG, QEEG, this will become part of your regular vernacular. So we talk there, they've got the Greek signs and words here. So delta, theta, alpha, beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, gamma. The frequency numbers here, and then the general characteristics. So I'm going to draw this on this graph. So a delta wave, 0 to 4, is a big, slow wave. Nothing slow in the brain, but we would consider this a big, slow wave. Infants are in delta. They sleep all day. We should not see delta in an awake adult EEG. The next frequency up is theta, 4 to 8. Think about your 4-year-old. They don't learn from flashcards. They learn by what I call osmosis, or just from their environment. So if a trusted adult tells a 4-year-old Santa's going to come down the chimney and place presents in their stocking, the child will believe you. And that's because they're in a suggestible state. Theta is a suggestible state. If you go to a hypnotist, they're going to try to get you here. If you want to stop smoking or change beliefs that no longer serve you. I believe that both alpha and theta are dominant in our psychedelic states as well. So a 4-year-old should have a dominant frequency of around 8 hertz. I also nickname this the ADHD wave because if we see this at the anterior cingulate, it is going to be an attentional problem. That's the traditional view of ADHD. We now know that it can come in different frequencies, different failure modes of the anterior cingulate. The next frequency up is called alpha. It's 8 to 12 cycles per second. And this should be dominant in the parietal lobe. And then when we close our eyes, it should double in power, and as we fall asleep, it may move forward. But, alpha frequency, most people should hover around 10 hertz, but the range is from 8 to 12. This is a calm state, so if you almost get in a car accident, you find a place to pull over, your heart's racing, you close your eyes, take a deep breath, and you're kind of bringing yourself back down. That's the effect of alpha. Alpha is also our meditation state. I live in Colorado, so there are a lot of THC users, and they get alpha everywhere. So it is not healthy for the brain. We used to know in the 70s and 80s when I was in school that, the dudes out in the smoking circle smoking dope were not the brightest bulbs in the lamp. But people have forgotten that today. But we certainly see a lot of it out here in Colorado. So all of these would be considered kind of sleep waves, or subconscious processing waves, not thinking waves. So we want to see these mostly in the back of the head in our awake EEG that we take in office. The next frequency up is called beta 1, also called SMR if it's over the sensory motor strip. This is our open focus frequency. This is where learning is best. And so we think of this as mental alertness, cognitive processing. If I had you guys hooked up to an EEG right now, I should see plenty of this beta 1. And then if I told you there was going to be a test and you would get a prize of an eye-sync wave, you would move your beta faster automatically. And this produces dopamine. It helps us pay attention to detail. It's a little bit heightened or elevated state. We pay attention better. We are more likely to be able to spit it back out on the test. And if we pass the test, we get another hit of dopamine. And, this helps us be motivated to do more learning, more studying. So we would consider this 12 to 20 hertz our learning cognitive frequencies, and we should see plenty of this in the executive center of the brain in awake EEG, healthy EEG. Now, if we get up over 22 hertz, we're moving into what's called high beta. 22 to 35 hertz is high beta. This prepares us for fight, flight, freeze. And we all know that when we kick into fight, flight, freeze, cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine happen, and our frontal lobe actually goes off. We stop thinking it's too slow. We need to just react for survival. And so, again, when we see this in an awake EEG, we expect an anxiety disorder. Unless your client's afraid of you, you just should not see this in high amplitude in the EEG. And then, of course, we have gamma. And gamma is 36 to 100 plus, because they're still naming all those faster gamma frequencies, but we know this to be a binding rhythm for memory, processing, and organization.